Hello everyone, and welcome to ChatLoopBackOff, when a CNCF ambassador explores a cloud-native project for the first time with our audience. My name is Abdel Sigiwar, and I will be your host today. I would like to remind everyone that this is an official live stream of the CNCF, and as such is subject to the CNCF Code of Conduct. Please do not add anything in the chat or questions that would be in violation of that code of conduct. Basically, please be respectful of all the fellow participants and presenters. With that, I will hand it off to Seema Saharan to kick off today's presentation, exploring Flatcar. Take it away, Seema.
Thank you, Abdel. Hi, everyone. I am Seema Saharan. I am an SRE working at Autodesk, and I'm also a CNCF Ambassador and AWS Community Builder. Recently, I've been giving a lot of talks in conferences like KubeCon, Cube Day, and upcoming in Open Source Summit and Open Search Con. So let's begin with the Flatcar, exploring it, and I'm also exploring it for the first time. It's pretty new to me, so we will see how we can explore any CNCF projects to make it easier for you for the first time using it. So the first thing that I would like to do is just search for the project name, right? And you can search for Flatcar CNCF, so it doesn't, so Google doesn't confuse with the name, and you will find a lot of resources. So what I would like to do is go to the first link that is from CNCF, and I can see there is another link for Flatcar official website. So let's explore that first. On CNCF website, we can see Flatcar Container Linux. The definition is like a community Linux distribution designed for container workloads with high security and low maintenance. And it is in incubating project. We can also go from here to the project website, but I already opened it. So let's explore the website first so that we can understand better what's exactly is Flatcar and where can we use it, and let's get kick started with it. So it is open source. Of course, it's part of a CNCF landscape and community powered innovation with enterprise grade security, automated updates, and streamlined maintenance for scalable container deployments. Awesome. So we do have some blogs, releases, documentation that I'm really interested in because that will help me in understanding the project better. We have some FAQs and security, and we also have GitHub. So I'll explore this in some time. um, we have some GitHub links that where we can see about the project, how often it is um, getting active, and how much contributors are present in this project. We can also get the updates on their socials and ask questions on Slack. I've seen like for CNCF projects, it's very easier to communicate with Slack with the maintainers and contributors so that you can get better ideas if you are facing any issues with any project, not just Flatcar. So why Flatcar Container Linux? That's also my first question. Why do we have to use this, right? So imagine an OS that works as hard as you do, streamlining your container infrastructure while cutting costs, reducing headaches, safeguarding your business. Flatcar is engineered for those who demand efficiency, reliability, and peace of mind. That's definitely a priority for most of the projects and teams, because we want to use a project or a tool that is pretty much easier to get started with, because if we spend a lot of time in training everyone in the team for a particular tool, it's not very convenient. So it says it's minimal and focused, only the essential tools to run your containers, eliminating bloat, no package manager, no configuration drift. Well, that's amazing. Because it's gonna be very lightweight and pretty much the boot time is gonna be very less. So that's an overhead we want to reduce. Next is they are really focusing on security and immutable read-only file system that drastically minimizes attack services, giving you the confidence to scale without compromise. Effortless automated updates, atomic hand-free updates ensure your system is always at peak security and performance, freeing you to focus on growth. Definitely, I think for any organization, these are the main uh, pointers that we use, because for any organization, security is the topmost priority. Um, if we are introducing an open source tool, we also really focus on how much we can add a security layer on top of that. And Flatcar is focusing on that, so it's pretty amazing already, and made possible by project sponsors including Microsoft, Akamai, and etc. Okay. So next section, I can see the container infrastructure OS. Flatcar is designed from ground up for running container workload. So it fully embraces the container paradigm, including only what is required. Definitely, when Docker came into the picture, it was very easy because we needed all the tools that we just want to use, right? We don't need the whole operating system. And Flatcar is not exactly Docker, from what I can see here, but it's almost using the same paradigm, container paradigm, that whatever is needed, we are installing it, not any other random packages. We already covered this. So, immutable infrastructure design at scale, reduce complexity. Secure by design, definitely. Automatic updates, and yeah, and it has some videos how you can explore it and some of the latest blogs. All right, let's move on to the GitHub first. So for any project, uh, you can be a open source contributor as well, and you might be looking for a new project to contribute to. So what I like to do is go to their GitHub and see if your preferred language or any tool that you prefer is used is being used by that project, and so that you can contribute more. So for Flatcar, I can see for this particular repository, it says Python is, I think, 100% used. Yeah. So if you use Python heavily, you might be interested in contributing to this project. And I can see a lot of issues as well. And we can, yeah. So always, like, if you're a first time contributor, it's always preferred to use this label, good first issue. And if, okay, I see a lot of good first issues that you can work on. um, that's about the contribution part. And let's see what else. So install and operate, this is the this is the documentation we will explore. Rather than the readme file, I would like to explore the documentation first. I'll close this. Okay. So when you go to the documentation, you can see the definition. We already see that it ships minimal OS image. Next section is getting started. If you're new to Flatcar, if you're looking for a brief introduction, you can go to Quick Start Guide. Let's go there. Okay. This guide aims to get you up and running in a few minutes. We'll cover concept, configuration, provisioning, writing a basic Flatcar configuration, and testing it locally with Kimu. further reading where to go from here from after learning the basics. Okay, it is Flatcar is configured at provisioning time. There are two configuration language to set up Flatcar aimed at different use cases. So first is butane config. Um, I never used it. I'm not sure. So what is butane? Butane is a human readable, writable YAML. Okay, YAML. I think we are all familiar if you are already working in DevOps space, or even developers know very well how to write YAML files, and must be converted transpiled into Ignition v3 config before Flatcar can use it. All right. It's the successor of container Linux config, which is also supported. Okay. And the second configuration is Ignition config, which is a machine readable JSON fed to Flatcar Ignition service. All right. Okay. I'm not sure if we have a architecture diagram because I want to understand more. Um, okay, I think it's different. Basically, I wanted to understand how Flatcar is working, but anyway, Ignition is Flatcar's installation service which configures a Flatcar instance during provisioning. The config file is passed to custom data or user data option of cloud providers and can be supplied by various mechanisms to private cloud. Okay. Hmm. Ignition config is really written by a human. It's usually generated by provisioning automation and transpiled to from user. All right, so we only focus on butane config, and it's getting converted to ignition config. Okay. All right. So use butane to customize your Flatcar deployment. For example, to add custom user and groups, create and manage storage devices, file system, swap and create custom files. Okay. Customize automatic updates and define reboot windows. All right. Create custom network configuration and system units. Wants to, okay, define a, all right. Okay. To convert butane into machine readable ignition config, just download the latest release of butane. Let's see that. Alternatively, you can also use the up to date container image with this. All right. So I prefer Docker mostly. Let's try that, but let's see this butane. Okay. So we can basically download it from GitHub directly. Also, I read that Flatcar is basically a fork from CoreOS that is, I think, deprecated or something. I've never worked on that. But yeah, after CoreOS, we got the Flatcar. That's what I know. Okay, let's jump into this. Okay, all right. Writing your first config and testing it locally in Qemu VM. Okay. All right. Let's see. Running on Qemu. This. Okay. So installing Qemu is Um, it can be run on Windows or OS X, but works best on Linux. I am currently using Mac OS, so let's try if it works smoothly on that or not. Let's see. So, I don't have Pacman. Okay, I think this could work. But first, I think we would need to install Chemo. I got the tutorial. I see a section for tutorial. Let's see what's there. I think they will have more. Yeah. So in this tutorial, they are saying what are the requirements. So it's Linux VM with nested virtualization Chemo. I don't currently have this, so let's install first. Okay, I have Mac OS. I'll just use brew to do this. Let me switch to my terminal. Okay, till it installs, let's see what's next. For each cover item, there is a demo. All right, so they are already providing some demos that I would like to explore. Let's see first. Hands on one called Discovering. This one. The goal of this hands-on is to locally run a Flatcar instance, boot the instance and SSH into the instance, and run an Nginx container on the instance. All right. I already have one directory created in my system, Flatcar Explore. I will just use this. Let's see if it's installed. Okay, Chemo is currently installing, so it might take a while. It's taking a lot of time. Okay. Meanwhile, it installs. Let's see something else maybe. So, I think it's updating all of the things on my system right now. It's so much. Yeah. Okay. Apart from tutorial, I see this. I can see it's also supported on the cloud providers, AWS, Brightbox, Azure, OpenStack, VMware. Okay, okay. Let's see this one. Okay. So I think we just have to use AMI, and in that AMI, it's already present. Yeah, the current AMIs of Flatcar and EC2. Okay, they are updated frequently. And using CloudFormation is the easiest way to launch a cluster, but it is also possible to follow manual steps. Okay, okay. It's also supported by Terraform. I think that's good because most of the organization I think prefer Terraform. Maybe now OpenTofu. Um, okay, I think this is gonna be very easy to set up on a cloud environment. Okay, seems pretty straightforward. I currently don't have an AWS environment with me because I like to test on local for some time and then go to cloud for personal projects. Let's see if it's installed. Not yet. Um, anyway. Okay, we can also customize the image. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. So we already have some AMIs in AWS, and we can customize according to our need if you want to, let's say, I think for installing some softwares, maybe the generic um, Flatcar Linux container Linux image that is .bin can be directly attached as loop device on a Linux host and mounted after decompression with bunzip2. Okay, the partition to modify needs to be specified by its number. All right, we have customizing with OEM partition, boot partition. Okay, customize with Docker. Okay, we can also customize it with Packer VMware base. That's pretty good. All right, and these are virtual machine bare metal. Hmm. I think going through all this documentation, it's a pretty big task. So I think the tutorial will really help us to understand this project better. What it can do live. What's taking so long? Is it? It's not installed. Okay. Okay, it's installed. Let's go to our hands-on one, and we can get the Kimu helper. And let's clear this terminal. Very good. Okay, we got the shell script. Okay, Flatcar production queue. Let's see what's there. I think I already have this project opened up. Let's try to follow this once. Get the latest stable release. Alright, this is an image. It's AMD. I don't think it's gonna work here, but okay, it's 498 MB. Okay, I think will be fine. Current. Yep. We have to go to current and search for this image. It's not there. Okay, it's OpenStack production. I don't see this. I can see OpenStack is there. Um, I'm not sure if it is supported. Okay. For the earlier version, this version I can see Podman is there, container, but we need the dot image basically. I don't think so. It's there. Okay. This. Let's try this one if that doesn't work. I'll save. I'll save this link. Okay, let's try the next step. I know that is it's AMD. I don't think it will work because my system is ARM based. Um, let's see anyway. I don't think it will work, but okay, we will do this. So we have created a backup to always have a fresh image around. Okay, we have executed the basically we have made the shell script executable. And before starting, make sure you boot a fresh image. Let's see. Says illegal option. I think it's Mac OS issue. Okay, let's try. Okay. Um, okay, we rename the file name. Just a second. I will just revert this. Let's try this. Fresh Checkers. Okay. Okay, the Flatcar container Linux is booting up. Okay. Let's see what's the next step. So after starting the Flatcar image in console mode, it's basically we will configure the SSH file and SSH into Flatcar. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, I can see it's the UI is not really good. Let me try something. Okay, now it's fine. Earlier it was like, I think there is some issue, but for the new lines it's pretty weird in Mac OS, I think. Not sure. Okay, so we are in Flatcar container Linux now, right? And let's try some basic commands that we usually do for a Linux system. Let's say cat etc os release. That is okay. We can see Flatcar container Linux, and it is definitely a fork from CoreOS. And we have some um, Flatcar website, and if you have to report a bug, we have that. And this is basically running on AMD. Just give me a second.
I think we lost Seema, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's Seema is back.
Can you hear me
Hello.
fine now?
Yeah, we lost you for a second. All right.
Yeah, I just changed my network so that there are no interruptions.
All
Okay.
right, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so basically we have installed it and we will test it out, which So in the website they mentioned that they don't have any package manager. So let's try if they have yum. They don't. DNF, apt, apk. So it's a completely new system without any kind of irrelevant packages. um, so let's see if it's possible to connect to the instance via ssh. Mhm. Once on the instance, you can try things this. Let me try this. If Docker works. Okay. So Docker is by default available in Flatcar. So that's very easy. Um, yeah, the terminal definitely have some UI issues because here I can see the Docker image extraction, but not properly. Might be the Mac OS or the terminal, not very sure, as long as it works right now. Because obviously, we are not going to use a local system, we are going to use um, any cloud environment like Amazon, AWS, EC2 instances, because in the documentation also they have mentioned that it works best in Linux system. So I would prefer that. But since we are already in macOS, then it's fine. Okay. So let's see if our container is running. Yes. So we have um, just ran one Nginx server on Docker inside Flatcar container Linux, and it is forwarding to this. So let's do a curl localhost, and yeah, we can see that Nginx is perfectly running on Flatcar container Linux. So this uh, this completes the hands-on one, that is a discovering phase for Flatcar, right? Um, the next is provisioning. Let's move to that. So in this hands-on, we have goal for provision in a local Flatcar instance, right? Butane configuration that we are very interested in because um, Flatcar basically uses butane configuration and generate ignition configuration, boot the instance with config. All right. So they have already given a tutorial repository that you can directly clone. Let me do that quickly. Let me open up a new tab and do clone and just cd into this. It's Flatcar tutorial. Yes, we have. Okay, we already have all the hands-on um, information and all the necessary files already in this repository. I will go to hands-on too. Let's see what's there. We already have a config.yaml file. Let me check that. Um, sorry. Yeah, let me open up Visual Studio Code. And on hands-on too, I can see this config file already. So let me zoom in and remove this. I can see the config file looks like variant Flatcar, version is 1.0.0. It uses systemd units. It is also, I think it's also gonna run an Nginx server. Yeah, unit description service. It's using Docker. Okay. To do is to add the storage section to create the file in var www.index.html that will served by Nginx. Let's do that. So we are already in config.yaml file. We are gonna add this section. So we all know that this location is served. used for basically hosting the web pages by default. And the content of this file will be hello world. And next is, okay, we have more examples. We can explore this as well. So if you are interested in, because in the documentation earlier, they have mentioned that we can customize user and groups, generate a password hash, store and files. So we can explore all of this. And I think this documentation is very easy once you like, roam around a bit. Initially, like, you see a lot of sections, but once you get into the tutorial sections, it becomes very easy. And we have common setup operations and customizations as well. Okay, next is transpile the butane configuration to ignition configuration, because we earlier read that only human write butane configs, right? And it converts it into ignition config that is readable by the systems. So we never write ignition files ever, okay? And it is possible to use butane binary or the Docker image. All right, let's run this. Um, User fresh. Okay, okay. We can use the same one. Let's run this. And we will use a different image. I think I can just exit from that. This one, I can just exit. Oh, I don't know how to exit from this one. Don't know. Let's re-download the image, okay? That we did from last tutorial here. Mm, we already have it though. Okay, that's why backup was really good to have, but I didn't use it. So make sure you use that. That will be much easier to do different hands-on. And um, okay, let's see if we can do this quickly. I will use different location. Let's see. If it's faster and under the time, we are gonna complete this hands-on as well. So let's see. All right. We have the image in our current directory. Let me go here. We already added the storage. We already ran this butane Docker container, and we are gonna use this. Okay, this, I don't think it will work again in my system. I'm not sure. I think Linux will be much better to test Flatcar out. Okay, this sh, we want this again. Let me quickly get that. And executable. Then, okay, initially in this demo, the previous one, I see there was no config.json provided. And if you see in this second one, where we are writing butane configuration, and we converted that into a JSON file, we are using that to launch the Flatcar container Linux. So let's do that. I think it's already running. That's why I am not able to quit this. I'm not really sure how we can do that. Quit now. Exit is not working. I'm not really sure, but this was the last step. So I wanted to see. Um, so basically, it's the same kind of demo. It's just that we are providing. We are launching a Nginx server with a butane configuration, right? So it was kind of good, but right now I don't know how to quit this. Let's see if I can just do this. No, it's not really working right now. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if we can find something here. Um, okay, I think we can do this. We might. Not sure it will work. Let's see. Okay. So I just changed the port and it worked. So basically, if you already ran a Flatcar container Linux with this Flatcar production keynote.sh, and you, so basically, I didn't know how to quit that, and I just changed the SSH port here. Because in the error message I could see that TCP 2222 we are not able to forward to it. So after changing this port, obviously it's gonna use a new port, and that's how we can launch a new Flatcar container Linux. So I think it's pretty easy. The only thing I'm confused about is how to quit the existing one. I am gonna explore that, and you should do that too. And if you find the solution before me, do comment that out. Oh, I see a comment. It's Control AX. Okay. I can try that, but it's already gone. I might try for this one. Let's see. It takes a bit of time on the booting process, but I think um, less than the Linux systems that we have. Like let's say Ubuntu or Red Hat, they take a lot of booting time. I think it's pretty less for this container flat car, as it doesn't have any random packages that we don't need. Okay. Mm, okay, I can see the command line. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we have done that, and since our config.json already had Nginx service, all the configuration and storage there. Let's see if it's by default working or not. It's not working. Um, why? Let's see. Okay, Nginx is running. Let me try it again. It's not working on port 80. I think it's doing something. Um, this is error. Lower directory is in use. Okay. That's okay. Let me check um my terminal, because I think um no, it's flat car. Yeah. it is having some issues. I think it might be related to the same image and same image name. I have to debug this definitely. But Nginx is already running, so I'm. Oh, okay. It took some time. It's working. That's pretty strange. I think the boot up time took a while, but it was already showing this terminal, so it should have worked before. And yeah, I can maybe see Docker PS. Okay, everything is running fine. It was created about a minute ago. So if you are facing similar kind of issues, you might have to wait a bit, because as you can see, it was giving some errors, but I think it was still booting up. um, might be again, it might be related to Mac OS. It's behaving like this, like the UI is not very proper. But test these two hands on in your Linux system, preferably in AWS EC2 instances. You can do that because it's very easy. It's going to be very smooth. And after these hands on, you can also explore the other two, that is hands-on 3, which is using Terraform, by the way. So it's gonna be very smooth. Like you can see, like there are very less number of steps that we have to do, and Terraform is very good because we don't want any manual actions, right? So Terraform is gonna be very easy. And last is Flatcar documentation was really focusing on auto update feature that you can explore on the last hands-on lab. So if you are exploring this project, I would highly recommend to just go over to the tutorial pages and explore that and do it by yourself in Linux systems, definitely, because Mac, it's not working very smoothly. Yeah. Um, I think I am done. We can take up some questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Seema.
Yeah.
We have few minutes left, and do we have any questions? There was no questions. There's a comments. Awesome to see the Flatcar project taking the stage. Looking forward to know how folks in the community are utilizing it and in a specific use case caught up recently.
Yeah. Definitely, like when I heard about Flatcar, I was like, what is this? Because it's also a new project for most of us, and it was really good to explore it in this session and sharing it and facing issues live. So it was pretty amazing.
I mean, you managed to get it right, so
Yeah.
yeah. I did some chemo in the past. It was quite interesting. All right. I'm not sure if we have any more questions. If not, then we can probably just end it here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Seema.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave the link to the playlist for the chat loop back off. If you want to look at this particular video, which will be published there, or any other video. And thank you all. Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.